WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Good morning, Keon. Good morning, Carvey. How's everybody this morning?
Carvey?
Good.
You got to get him a mic. So what's your name again?
Keith.
Oh, I thought you almost missed it this morning.
Keith B. Parris.
Keithy B or Keithy B or Keithy B?
B.
Oh, Keith B.
B. So anyway, phone lines open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250.
Did you go to school with David King?
No, I didn't.
Okay, he was one of them King. He tried to put King in there, but he went to other schools afterwards. I was like, you and Keith, don't really count.
No, I never. I didn't have the great privilege of
really
matriculating at that fantastic educational institution known as Rufus King High School.
Social phenom.
Yeah. Shout out to the Generals.
That and Lincoln. What was Lincoln's?
Lincoln was the Comets.
Yeah, and North. Those were the three.
Blue Devils.
Those were the three. Stand up.
I wonder. I wonder. West Division used to be. I thought they were the Indians, and I know Custer was the Indians.
Those were all rather diverse populations.
Oh man, if I would have known about West Division in high school, man, I would have definitely did. West Division was probably the most diverse school in the city.
Right.
I mean, they had everybody, just.
I remember I was working at Wagner. Pat, what was Pat's name? Pat, I can't think of Pat's last name. He was my supervisor, but he used to be a supervisor at A.L. Smith. And Irish guy, I tried to pull this something on him with that little race car on him. If you don't get the hell out of here with that, I went to West Division and I played football with the brothers. And if you don't get the hell out of here, I was like, oh, well, okay. We used to eat lunch together. He killed me.
Some of my best friends are black.
I swear to God. And he had a vein coming out his head. He meant it like
no. Calling white people racist is like calling black people nigger.
Especially if they especially if they wasn't.
They wasn't, right.
I just put a post up. I had a memory of the first guy that ever called me his brother. We were at Golda by the tire structure. What was that tire thing called? It used to be on the playground with the tires. It wasn't.
Oh yeah. It was.
You remember those things back in the day? And the white guys walked over and said, "Yeah, I see you." About 5 of them. So you see you talking to the black kid, John. John looked around and was like, "What black kid?" They pointed at me like, "Him right there." He looked around and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, he's not black. He's my brother." So you couldn't tell Johnny was a racist. He go across your head.
It was something Fern was talking about yesterday when I was talking about my rhythmically challenged goddaughter.
Yeah.
And it's where you grow up.
Yeah.
Your culture is where you grow up. So I had
John grew up on 38th Center.
Right. I had one particular family that grew up with me in Metropolitan. They grew up in Whitefish Bay all their lives. So, the only time they really had any appreciable time with black people was at church if they went to some family reunion. So I understood the culture. So
yeah, I had a message for you too.
Let me say this. You were talking about play equipment on the playground. It is so much safer.
That is fun though.
I know. It's so much safer.
You know, tires.
They got little
fun.
pads down
Yeah.
there. Man, if
Now, I'm not
you
gonna
was
lie.
wrong, it was concrete.
I'm not gonna lie. Walking on that pad is something special.
Oh man.
Yeah,
You know, so it's like the monkey bars are steady. Man, down in Garfield Park, man, that monkey bar could have collapsed at any
The
time.
swings
Man.
are too safe.
Oh man,
You can't
it's
go,
too
you can't
safe.
you can't wrap the pole.
Took all the fun out of it.
Yeah,
Right. You can't wrap the pole. Right. You can't. Oh my God.
Oh, you had a message from you too.
What's that?
For you, it wasn't a message. And you know, Alma Bond and Geraldine Sykes.
Okay.
That was it. And listen to you,
Oh
Keith.
yeah.
Metropolitan. I was like,
Oh,
I didn't know Miss Alma went to Metropolitan all these
Yeah.
years. That's my neighbor.
boy, you ain't
I
been
still
hugged.
got it. So Alma Bond and
Miss Sykes, sister.
no, Alma Bond and Miss Kathy Miles.
Yeah, but yeah, Miss Sykes.
Those are my neighbors across
You
the
hadn't
next
been
door.
hugged until Sister
Oh, yeah, she
Sykes
got
hugged
me.
you. Oh
She
my
got
God,
me.
what a
I
beautiful
didn't want to go
hug.
nowhere. I almost fell asleep.
Man, I look forward to going to church because I knew I
Listen.
was gonna get that hug, man. And I'm not a hug guy. You know, I am not. Don't get in my space, but man, she gets you in that bear hug between her and Russell Stamper. Those are two folks that
now,
go.
Russell's we had to work on Russell's.
Russell's strong, bro.
Yeah, I had to, but we got him. We talked about him long enough.
And then you came back up because then he put the bass in.
No,
voice.
because he'll hug you and slap you on the back. And almost knock your back.
Yeah.
You know, close your hand when you hit me on the back.
Yeah. I feel like saddling up to the bar now and just leave the bottle. One of those. Yeah.
My uncle Richard Webb is listening. He do that too. When he feeling good,
Yeah.
he'll hit you on your back and you'll be like, if you hit me again, we're gonna have a situation. And Russell do that, he'll hug you and he'll hit you on your Russell, stop. Thank you, bro.
I love that brother, man. But man, you got to do your health insurance card. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Elder Donald Gray. I'm a graduate of Rufus King Generals of 1972.
Yes, sir.
In 1971, we went upstate
Yes,
to
sir.
play the finals and lost the finals to Janesville Parkers and made all of their free throws, 25 free throws. But it was a wonderful year growing up, being in high school. Grew up in Garfield Park.
Okay.
All of that was a wonderful time. I'm now headed in a couple of months. I'll be 71 years of age.
Do you remember? Do you
Go ahead.
remember that the playground apparatus down at Garfield Park? How? Oh man, it was dangerous, and there was no patties that the kids have now. Man, you fell. Those are broken bones. It's gonna be bad.
I remember they had a one of those things that go around in circles.
Oh yeah, the merry-go-round.
Yeah, well,
you silly.
I fell off of it, and back then and there, they would have bands come up in the park, and they had a stage.
Right.
And when we was young, we liked to jump over things, and I tried to jump over the railing of the stage, and it caught my legs, and I fell, and I was in the daze for an hour.
You ain't no good, Keith.
It was fun.
You laughing at your man. Don't you hate when your toe be clipped?
Almost made it. Man, jumping fences. You know, like you could jump a fence wrong, man, and next thing you know, man, you all broke up, man. It's something about having young bones, though.
Well, you remember those basketball players, William Stewart, Raymond Nixon. I grew up with him. He was my best friend. All we did was go jump from fences to fences, 1 yard. And Raymond, he was a jumper. I guess that's why he was great on the basketball team. But they would jump 6-foot picket fences. I wouldn't try and do that.
His son played at Dominican. Yeah, and then he played in Madison, right? Yeah, he went to Wisconsin.
Yeah, his son went to Wisconsin, and then he went overseas to play ball, and he made money overseas.
All right,
well, I always thought Raymond Nixon would be an NBA player, but it just didn't work out. And also William Stewart and they played against Foster, I guess from Lincoln and all North Division. They was good. But when we lost that game at Janesville, at Madison against Janesville Parker, and I was on the bus coming back home, we were so upset that we saw this one of players just hit the other team in the face and stuff, and outside the building. That was poor sportsmanship.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Oh, take care.
Oh man,
Laughed at his trip.
no man, because
Nothing.
they taught me. I lived on 4th Street. Me and my mom did something Saturday. Speaking of, I was just we were dropping addresses, and I was just going back to the addresses that I can remember: 4448 A North 4th Street. I don't know the address on 2nd Street. 3371 North 5th Street. 3276 North 26th Street. Those are all my primary addresses coming up as kids. And my mom remembered those addresses, which is good. My mom is dealing with short-term memory loss. And so, you know, you could tell her this and 5 minutes later she forget, but her long-term memory is still very, very good. And we were just talking about, yeah, it was a different time, man. I mean, we had to be tough. Didn't want to be, had to be. Caller, welcome to the program.
Let me tell you something, Keith. You talking about playground? Mm-hmm. Don't you dare try to get on that slide in the summertime and that metal slide with some shorts on. Oh, you talking about taking your whole thigh off that joint.
You know what they did now? They're all plastic, but the plastic still get hot.
But it ain't nothing like that metal.
No,
sitting
like
in the sun. Oh, hey, I'm talking about, and if it's dry too, all the way down.
Oh, be screeching.
Yeah, it burned it. But you know, I don't know. I always bring this up, man. We didn't waste anything in my family. We waste nothing. If you saw our garbage, it was cans and bones. Wasn't no food ever thrown out, right? And that was the same thing with clothes. So, you know, this is Wisconsin. You get corduroys, right? Back in the day, everybody had cords, you know, nice cords, man. You put them on. Summertime, my mama would cut the cords. We wear corduroy shorts.
Corduroy shorts? Your mama cut those.
She did. She cut. Wait a minute. My mama was not a seamstress, so one leg be longer than the other. You look at
them corduroys look like a bad line.
Just another reminder. You know, when I hear people say, "Oh, when we was growing up, we was poor, we didn't know it." I don't know how you didn't know it. I knew it. And those corduroy pants always reminded me just how poor we was, right? 98 degrees and you out there corduroy shorts. Come on, man.
Corduroy. And that ain't far from Jermaine Dupri with his shoot short set at halftime.
I never understood the short suit set. What kind of player? You know who used to always wear those though? Dwayne Wade. He always with his Chicago Bama behind. Yeah, man, he come out, dude. That ain't LeBron James too, man. Those short suits, dude. They ain't fashionable, dog. I'm just telling you.
If you got that on, you ain't no player.
You's a Bama. You's a Bama.
My Bama.
And what?
Talk about Bama. She said, "I'll be in there."
Wait a minute. Then they got these little toothpick legs. Got on the knee socks. And of course, you got on the player sandals, right? You got, oh my God. Man. You can't tell that brother he ain't clean. And then they have a matching hat. Wait a minute. Hold on. How'd you do all that?
Wait, no, you want to talk about short sets. It's that short set with that matching Kango, matching the whole plaid suit with the Jesus 2000s on. You know they can cook up some barbecue grill.
I love old dudes acting like they young, so they throwing the Kango, dude. You throwing the Kango, you old. I'm just telling you, man. Carmen, you don't wear Kangos, do you?
Wait a minute, I'm going to get a Kango.
Because you old.
Yeah, what?
I done made it.
He's old. What you
I done made it.
You know what? And he got a Cochise Apple hat too.
Yeah.
You know, remember Coach Cheese?
They killed Coach Cheese.
Coach Cheese. Be careful leaving today with that hat on.
Hey, wait a minute. This is for the brothers that ain't here. How do I say goodbye to what?
But guess what? Hey, Cooley High, they had a full day. They skipped school.
They did that whole day. And then they had a hard day. It was a whole day.
They had a whole
just wasted a whole day.
They went to the party.
Sex, money, murder, and everything. Sex, money, murder.
Got killed. So, Keon, I hope you wear that Apple hat today. What happened, man? They killed. So I'll be at your funeral up on the hill with a black turtleneck on my way to Hollywood.
I hear music, but let's give a rest in peace for Mr. Mays.
Yes, sir. Yes, sur.
Appreciate
you, man. And people don't realize, you know, the people that was in Cooley High, Lauren Hilton Jacobs, Glenn Turman, Morris, Garrett Morris. Yeah. You're listening to Community Voice. And some of those gang members you saw?
Oh, were gang members.
They were gang members.
Yeah, they were.
They were
Especially the ones in the car.
Gangsters. Yeah. I don't know if they were vice lords or gangster disciples, but they were gangsters. All right, take a break. Be right back.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
A generation of Milwaukeeans has watched Joanne Williams on television news. Born and raised in Milwaukee, a product of the Milwaukee Public Schools, she was a fixture on Fox 6, and before that, TMJ4, where Williams launched her career as an anchor beginning in 1971. She joined Milwaukee Public Television as host and producer of WNOV in 2012. Since then, she won an Emmy for her work in 2018 and numerous awards from the National Association of Black Journalists, the Milwaukee Press Club, and more. She is a founding member of the Wisconsin Black Media Association. Joanne Williams is a TV broadcasting legend. This is our history, Milwaukee. Happy Black History Month.
This moment in Black history was brought to you by Educators Credit Union.
You're not just another number or another customer. You're a member owner. As a member owner, you can expect award-winning financial services, free financial education, and a team of people by your side helping you make informed financial decisions. Ready to join Educators Credit Union family? Membership is open to anyone who lives or works in southeastern Wisconsin. No matter your career, learn more at ecu.com. Federally insured by NCUA membership. Eligibility required.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
When it comes to graphic design and printing services, nothing is more important than details. At Great Impressions Graphic and Printing, their quick turnaround, competitive prices, and superior customer service have made them the #1 printer in Milwaukee for 20 years. High-quality custom funeral programs and memorial items, business cards and letterhead, T-shirts, banners of all sizes, and much more. Great Impressions guarantees their work will exceed your expectations, and their prices are competitive. Stop in or call Great Impressions for your next project today at 414-536-7646 or visit greatimpress.com.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
Welcome back, and we're inside Be Healthy, Be You. Miss Julia Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan, Ascension, Wisconsin. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great.
Real
Okay.
good.
Understand you're being stalked?
I don't know. This is the first I heard of it.
Oh
That's
my
all right. I
God.
got my
You
bodyguards.
get your bodyguard.
Oh
I
yeah.
got, I got
You know that
Keon.
she said plural.
Hey, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's what happens. When, hey, that's what happens when you go video.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
What was that over there in the corner? Watch out there.
That's Keith.
no.
I know what. We were talking to on Election Central. I had the privilege to interview Priscilla Cox Jones and Andrea Pratt. You know, we're talking about their legacies, you know, their mom and their dad. And Priscilla was saying that, you know, both of them had the experience that they had to go out with their parents to campaign. And Priscilla said, yeah, they drop us off on the corner. I said, no, not the corner. Not the corner. They dropped you off in the middle of the block, not the corner.
No.
I know you're trying to get votes, but anyway. And happy as we end Black History Month. Obviously, this is Heart Month, so we talked a lot about heart care. I wish I would have, you know, we also have a segment, Melanin Minded, which these folks are dealing with Alzheimer's, and
I work very closely with him.
and they released a documentary on Wendy Williams. The documentarians, from what I'm hearing this morning, did not know that she was dealing with dementia. And so that and it looks like for her was early onset, because I said the type of dementia that she has happens between the age of 40 and 65. Is she 60? I think 50, 60, something like
And
that.
it's nasty.
Yeah, and so people couldn't figure out her erratic behavior. And it turned out that this is what she was beginning. Plus, she'd had some other ailments that impacted. And I think as we talk about today, kidney health, we need to understand how these different morbidities can impact things like Alzheimer's, right?
Mental health.
Mental health.
We always say a healthy heart equals a healthy brain. You know, your heart has to be healthy in order for your brain to be healthy, because you need that blood flow to be not affected, to make sure that all of the neurons in your brain are being fed. And like when we talk about the kidneys today, the kidneys have a lot to do with the filtering of the body. It's like the filter in a coffee that you put in your, like when you doing your coffee, where the water will come through, but the grinds won't. And your kidneys function like that, where it'll take all of the waste and your extra water and keep the waste and let the water, it filtrates your body.
And I think it's important to have this conversation all the time. I think it takes on a certain heightened importance when we talk about it during Black History Month. And the reason why I say that is when you look at, we make up a disproportionate, we being descendants of enslaved Africans, disproportionate number of people who need dialysis.
We do. I say this almost a dialysis unit on every corner. But definitely in every, and it's still not enough, and I always thought, you know, how they do the libraries now, where they build a library but then put apartments up over there. How come they can't do that with dialysis units? Have a dialysis unit and then have apartments above there. So the biggest thing for people that have to do dialysis 3 days a week is to get back and forth to that dialysis unit. That's just in my mind.
You got a pretty brain.
Right.
Pretty brain. So no, that's okay. But let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before
Mm-hmm.
there's a need for dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean that is
Shutting the door.
yeah. No, you know, and I don't know how much of it is just hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
How much of it then is lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they say only about 1% of kidney disease is genetic.
Okay.
And then with African Americans, they have it's APOL1 gene, which we all carry, but they're finding more and more. If you carry both of those and they're defective, then that puts you at greater risk for kidney disease. But it's one of those genes, sort of like sickle cell, that it had a protective measure to it. So in Africa, it had a protective measure in that it helped keep people from getting some sort of parasite. But it evolved to help with that. But if people get two faulty genes like that, then they're at greater risk for kidney disease. So, but then when we look at it running families, a lot of that may be too that we've lived the same lifestyle. So, you know, we've eaten the same way, the same foods. And so a lot of that's passed on, maybe not genetically, but that's what we've learned. So is to eat a certain way and, right, you know, certain lifestyles. Correct.
How important then is it, you know, obviously we're back to a healthy diet, exercise.
Mm-hmm.
What about our water intake?
Yeah, well, we drink a lot of things that have extra things in them, sodium, phosphates, all of those things that make our kidneys have to work harder. They have to filter that out. Water is great because your body doesn't have to work that hard for that. And a lot of the foods that we eat, the fast foods, the processed foods, all of those things are harder for our kidneys to filter too. I always say, if you look at the recipe, I mean, you look at on the bottle or a can of ingredients and you see all of these things and you can't even pronounce them. There's 10 different things in there. Your kidneys have to deal with that, as opposed to if you just drink a glass of water compared to all these other things, or you ate fresh fruits and veggies instead of this fruit drink that has all these different things in there that your, you know, kidneys have to filter.
Yeah, and I'm not, you know, that's always, I'm not laying blame. I'm just saying, you know, we have to look at some causal factors in terms of how it can impact on our kidney health. What about if we're dealing with let's say, for example, dealing with viruses, and what we discovered for a lot of people with COVID was it made all the organs kind of work. Is that kind of the same thing where you could have something else, a virus or some ailment, and then it impacts your kidneys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your kidneys don't do well with antibiotics and certain antibiotics and certain over-the-counter drugs like Tylenol, Advil. They make the kidneys work harder. And it's sold over the counter, so a lot of people take it for aches and pain, but it really doesn't do well with the kidneys. You know, kidneys also control your blood pressure. It has a lot to do with your blood pressure mechanism. And when you take blood pressure medication, that affects your kidneys. And it's a lot of medications that are good for you. Diabetes, high blood pressure are things that make your kidneys work harder. And then you spoke about the viruses. A lot of people that got COVID had kidney problems afterwards, a large amount. got some type of kidney problems after COVID.
And I guess it just, and you all do, I think, an excellent job of just talking about the interconnectivity of our body's ecosystem, right? How one thing impacts on another. We wouldn't think that it does, but it does. So it's almost, is the word holistic a word to apply here? I don't know if it would.
Well,
Approach to
definitely,
how we deal with
looking at, our bodies are always trying to maintain a balance. It's always trying to take what's wrong going on, trying to balance it out, different organs in the body. And so, the more holistic, eating healthy, paying attention to your whole body, your psyche, your spiritual health, all of that all makes a difference in the way that our bodies work. So having that holistic view, and I just want to say that, we talk about, we may not eat the best foods, but we don't know what we don't know. So people don't know eating a lot of lunch meat or drinking a lot of dark sodas and things how they impact on our kidneys.
Wait, ho.
Yeah.
Wait.
That bothered me.
So it always. Here we go again.
Yeah,
Here we
the
go
dark
again.
soda.
So the dark soda is the problem, not the light soda.
No. Now I have to say there are some dark sodas that don't have phosphorus in them, but you have to look that up. They're more likely to have phosphorus than the white sodas. There we go, right?
Black History Month.
That's why we're talking about this, Keith.
And Pepsi,
Pepsi, Coca-Cola. All you people from down south, RC Colas.
Right.
Oh my God!
Not good.
Every day,
always
day,
something.
It's always back to slavery. Oh man! And I like Coke.
Hey, you know what? I do too. But there's nothing wrong with having one now and then. But if you're drinking a whole 2-liter every day,
I'm trying to
that's not
identify
good
with
for
my
you.
people. I'm doing one for the people. But I did not know that. But probably more sugar.
It's the phosphorus.
Okay.
Yeah, and not all dark sodas have phosphorus, but most of them do. And so that's why you have to drink those in moderation or not at all. Either one. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith. Didn't mean to break it to you like that.
Every week, brother, you just break my heart. Every week. Oh, you're not supposed to be drinking that dark soda. So, anything else dark we are supposed to have impacted our health?
Well,
I'm sure there's many dark things out there.
Impacted our health.
yeah.
Why do I laugh so hard on Tuesdays?
I don't know what it is about Tuesdays. Oh Lord. Okay. So we should be mindful of our diet.
Yeah.
Right. Low sodium,
Low sodium.
low phosphorus things.
How does sodium impact? Does it have impact on the kidneys?
Absolutely.
A lot.
Okay.
Because your kidneys are trying to regulate your blood pressure.
And what color is sodium? For all my militant brothers and sisters.
Right.
Yeah, brother. What color is salt, bro? White.
Not good for you.
Not good for you.
Salt is salt. I just want to say that
out
too.
the phosphorus in our dark sodas.
Dark sodas,
the salt.
yes.
But salt seems to be in everything. I mean,
It is.
It is, and that's why we say processed food is really hard on your body, hard on your kidneys. And we have so much of that. When we were kids, we didn't have as much of the processed food. And if we did get it, it was
bologna.
Bologna. Was that processed?
Yeah,
that bologna, yeah.
But everything comes out of a box now. Macaroni and cheese comes out of a box. Everything comes out of a box, and we pay for that. It's convenient, but our bodies do pay for that.
I had my roommate. God, he passed last year. And I didn't even know. My roommate, though, I would go stay with him, in DC, and his mom. Oh my God, what that woman could do with a box or something, like she would get a box of the macaroni and cheese, the Kraft. You would have thought Big Mama. She knew how to. Yeah, she knew how to. She turned me on. I'd never had it before. You can't even get it anymore. Tuna Helper. I never knew.
They don't make Tuna Helper anymore.
They don't get tuna. I'm
Oh,
not here.
they make Hamburger Helper. I'm
of course, the
surprised they don't
Hamburger
make-
Helper.
It's dark.
And then, and I apologize. I don't know where any of them are now. For the sisters who dated me, and you came by, and our meal was Tuna Helper.
How many second dates did you get, Keith? How many second dinner dates did you get?
Wow. I know you're a starving student, but Tuna Helper on a date? Yeah, man.
Hey, it costs more than ramen. So ramen.
I never had
isn't it?
ramen noodles.
Oh.
I have never had ramen noodles. A lot of sodium in that. Too.
Oh, God,
yeah.
sodium, fat. There's nothing good in a ramen.
Part of
noodle.
that, though, we add these additives for shelf life,
Mhm.
right? To maybe it's my imagination, but I bought a loaf of bread from Aldi's one time, and it looked like it lasted for almost months.
It may have. It may have.
And I'm trying to figure out, but if I go and buy a loaf of bread from a bakery,
Oh, you got
it's
3-4
bad in
days.
right?
Yeah.
Bad 3-4 days. But
Mhm.
that Aldi's bread,
Yeah.
you pass it on to your kids.
Leave
I
it in
love
the
you,
wet.
man. I love you, loaf of Aldi's bread in the real.
Got a case of bread out there in the back.
Is that the Aldi's Mama used to have? Yeah. And she left it to you in the will.
Uh-huh.
So we had that, but and so we understand based on how our society is. Also, just the amount of time it takes to cook, and based on our lifestyles.
Right. Well, you got two people working.
Mhm.
A lot of times when I grew up, my mom didn't work outside the house.
Okay.
But you're both coming home, you're tired. It's convenient, easy, pull it out and cook it. You got kids screaming, they're hungry, easier. And kids love Kraft macaroni and cheese. And it's Kraft macaroni and cheese. Don't try to give them some generic mac and cheese because they know.
Oh, there's a difference in taste. There's definitely a difference in
Right.
taste.
So, and you want to feed your kids and you want to feed them quickly because they're hungry.
And now they have these Lunchables.
Oh, yeah.
that
We
are
know they're
just
high in salt and phosphorus.
full of salt.
And the
Mhm.
crazy thing is, because we buy them for Kennedy's lunch, we had to not buy the one with the Reese's peanut butter.
Oh, because of the peanut
allergy, right? And so she
Oh.
couldn't take it to school with her because she'd kill half her.
Yeah, right. That
We
wouldn't be
had
good.
peanut allergies when we were growing up. Did you know anybody have a peanut allergy?
I don't remember.
Maybe they were just dying and we didn't know it was a peanut.
Well, in pediatricians, they're starting to look at that different now too. Whereas the introduction of foods, they're saying introduce these things early,
Okay.
because usually allergies are a result of most of them immature immune system. You start
Okay.
to develop that, or repeated exposure over time. So now they're not as strict about what not to introduce. They're thinking that a lot of those things that we didn't introduce maybe now are coming back as allergies as we get older.
So those folks who are dealing with their things that we can do to impact our kidney health, what might be some of those things we can do?
Well, we definitely want to eat healthy, like we talked about. Again, any of those things that are more close to how they're grown, so if you can eat fresh fruits and veggies, lean meats, more turkey, fish, chicken, that sort of thing.
And when you say turkey,
Mhm.
again, most times we're getting that turkey, it's sliced up. I mean, would that be considered processed food?
Well, if you're buying it like from a deli,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's processed food. So making your own turkey, slicing it up, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Mhm. And there's nothing wrong with having those things every now and then. You just don't want that to be the staple of your diet.
As I was going to Suburbia today. Thank you very much.
But you don't go to Suburbia every day.
So
Do you,
No, I
Keith?
don't.
No.
I used to though.
Yeah.
My personality, once I get on something,
Mhm.
I just get on it until I just don't like it anymore. Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I just, and I was living, well, I go back with suburbia back in the day when they first saw. I don't know if I should ask this question on the air. I'll ask it off the air.
Go ahead. Oh,
No,
okay.
I'll ask
Off
it
the
off
air. Okay.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the where the kidneys are. And I think most people know where their kidneys are because they'll say, I got this pain back here. Is that my kidneys? So the kidneys are located just a little.
Not like we said last week, you're a little too low. That's not where the kidneys are. We're not trying to stimulate. Right. It's not my kidney, dude. I know we were exercising together, but that's not my kidney. I'm sorry, Julie. We just messed up her presentation.
You're going to make a very important point here.
Yeah, well, they're the size of your fist, and and they're located just below your rib cage in the middle of your back. So when people try to hurt you, they try to hit you.
Oh, the
punch you in the kidney. That's
kidney
a
punch
pain.
is debilitating.
Yeah, because kidneys can be damaged, they can bruise and bleed and cause a lot of problems. They can also get stones in them, and that's very painful.
Well, you said in football where people had lacerated kidneys,
Yes.
taking a hit.
That's serious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's very serious.
And then they didn't know, or you hear about boxers who are, they're urinating blood after a fight because probably all the kidney punches that they took.
Yeah, the blood in your urine is not good.
You should never have blood in your urine.
Yeah, that is never a good thing, ever.
Should always be addressed.
Yeah. Run. Don't
That
walk.
that might raise a flag.
Yeah.
That might raise
Some
a flag.
people will say, "Oh, it'll go away," or no, blood in your urine is not good. But
that can happen from the kidney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even a bad kidney infection, bladder infection.
Yeah,
you can see blood in the urine.
Yeah. There is a lab test that a lot of people don't understand, and it's called GFR, and that kind of describes what condition your kidneys are in. And African Americans, they used to have on the lab work African Americans,
right? That you could be deeper into kidney disease before it was considered abnormal for a Black person. They had different but there's been a change, but that's only been like in the last couple years. This hasn't been, this has only been the last couple years they've changed it. Bad kidneys are bad kidneys, just because you're Black, you can't say, oh, those numbers are high, but you're Black, don't worry about it.
All that brown.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you want your GFR to be greater than 60 or greater.
Man, every day I'm just angry.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. Disparate treatments of folks. That's crazy.
And I hear over and over and over again, so many people say, nobody told me my kidneys were maybe not failing, but changing. And so they go back and look at their medical records when the doctor says, well, you're in stage 3 kidney failure. They're like, what? How did that happen? But then you go look back in their records and they've been increasingly getting worse over several years, and nobody's ever told them that. And the sad thing is, if they told them, then they could make changes in their diet, their exercise, all those things, so that it doesn't get worse.
So when I go in for my annual physical,
you should look for
it's on there.
It's on there.
GFR.
And they do test for
they
that.
do.
Yeah.
And it usually
It's a
in
normal
bold.
part.
It's usually bold. And your BUN and creatinine. Those are your kidney numbers you should look at. And they'll tell you if you're normal or low or high. And you have different phases before you get to kidney failure. And it's like 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you're on 3, you're in the middle. And then if you're on 5,
and we do see some kidney function decline as we get older, and a lot of people, it's not uncommon, but you still should know. Just because I'm 70 years old doesn't mean you shouldn't tell me that I'm in stage 2 or 3 kidney, disease.
Well, you're gonna die anyway.
Hey, you might live to be 100 years old.
You might.
Right? And so you want to know that so you can take care of those kidneys going forward, because as we age, we are going to see some declines. But if nobody tells you that, then you can't make any changes because kidneys don't get better, not from chronic disease, from an acute kind of all of a sudden something happened and
An infection.
right. Then they'll improve. But when you got chronic kidney disease, it doesn't get better. You just have to do better to prevent it from getting worse.
And they're starting to educate you much earlier now than what they used to. So if your doctor tells you that you need to see a nephrologist, that's a kidney doctor, and that and then the nephrologist tells you that, oh, we want you to start going to diet classes, show you what foods to eat less of, and that's the phosphorus and stuff that we're not used to. I know we all know about low fat, low sodium, but there are other things too. They don't want you eating a lot of nuts, a lot of potatoes,
grains, whole grains.
Yeah.
Even though whole grains are good for you, they do have phosphorus. Beans have a lot of phosphorus.
So it's the kidney diet is totally different from
maybe a heart diet.
Yes.
Right, because you may think, oh, I've always been told I should eat whole grain bread and brown rice, and I should eat lots of beans because they're healthy for you. But if you're in kidney failure, those aren't your friend, so you need to adjust. But again, people need to know that in order to be able to change. I can tell you from experience, Julie and I have referred many patients to nephrologists, and they come back and we say, well, what did the kidney doctor? Oh, he just told me to lay off those sodas. No, he didn't. You didn't go, because it's much more complicated than that. That is not what, but they would tell us all the time. And it was mostly men. Oh, he just told me to do this. Be like, no, that's not true. That's
you
not
didn't
true.
go.
That's what we do. We be like, you did not go.
Or they went and that's all they retained.
Right. That's all they heard.
No. By the time we would send them, those kidney values would be significant enough that, yeah, they didn't go. And most of the time they didn't go, of course, when we would follow up.
And break. Yeah. Okay.
So if your doctor says go.
Yeah.
Right. We're inside Be Healthy, Be You. When we get back, we'll talk about what we're going to talk about next week.
All right.
Are you or a loved one facing challenges of dementia? It can be a difficult journey, but you don't have to go through it alone. Melanin Minded understands this uphill battle and seeks to be the bridge for information, service, and support for the people of color. Melanin Minded offers various resources to ensure caregivers are equipped with the right tools, knowledge, and help, from youth and men's health programs to the Legacy Home Health Services. For more information, please call 972-891-9187, 972-891-9187.
Come savor the flavors of Pepper Pot Jamaican cuisine, located at 2215 North MLK Drive. Dive into our lunch menu packed with mouth-watering starters like our famous Pepper Pot jerk rolls, refreshing salads, and signature rice bowls, bursting with Caribbean flair. But the fun doesn't stop there. Join us for our happy hour from 5 until 8 p.m. every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, featuring irresistible food and drink specials. Don't miss out on the ultimate Jamaican dining experience at Pepper Pot, where you come hungry and you leave happy. For more information, please call 414-509-5206. Carter's Creations, when quality and service matters. For any occasion, sometimes you just want to send a floral arrangement for a get well, anniversary, birthday, or I messed up, or just because. Carter's Creations at 1727 West Hampton Avenue is the place you need to call. So call them today at 414-265-1727 or visit them online at carterscreations.com. Carter's Creations has been in business for over 30 years. Therefore, you know they know what they're doing. They also specialize in funerals as well. So when you need that special floral arrangement, think of Carter's Creations, when quality and service matters.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
Oh, we're back. We're
right
back
now.
Hot mics,
now.
hot
See
mics.
everybody scramble. Hey, we're back. We're back. So again, the importance of kidney health.
Yeah, you need a primary care physician.
Say it again.
A primary care physician.
And what should you? How many times should you see your primary care physician?
You know, if you're healthy, they'll say twice a year. If you're not, they'll say every 3 months.
Depends on what medications you on, depends on your health issues that they're monitoring. So, but your doctor is going to tailor that to what your needs are based off of your health.
And that's how you find out what those numbers are.
And ask for a copy of your labs. A lot of people don't do that, but my doctor automatically sends it to me. But get a copy of it, because then you can kind of look back and see, even if it's normal, you might see that you're trending in the wrong direction.
You go to my chart. If
right.
You have that. A lot of people do my chart. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Always good.
Yeah.
Be healthy, be you. Miss Julia Means, Miss Brenda Buchanan, Ascension, Wisconsin. We thank you, ladies.
And thank you and our listeners.
And look forward to next week.
All right. Sounds
Bye-bye.
great.
All right.
Bye-bye.
From me, someday we'll all be free. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. We'll all be free. We'll all be free. We'll all be free. But don't you know? Listen to me when I tell you, baby, we'll all be free. Keep on walking tall. Hold your head up high. Lay your dreams right up to the sky. Sing your brave song and to keep going on. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Just wait and see, someday we'll all be free. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Yeah, 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 yeah.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
Gonna be let free, baby.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice.
Gonna be free.
That's one of the great Donny Hathaway songs. You always know, we know this, man, that when people want to cover your song, that shows you just how good that song is. And Donny Hathaway did it, but that version was George Benson,
who's another prolific entertainer himself.
Oh my God.
That like Donny and Aretha, when they get your song, they get your song.
Mhm.
So to have a Donny song sung like that by George, phenomenal.
Yeah. We're joined in studio by Miss Michelle Reinen. I did right.
You got it perfect. Good morning.
She's the administrator of the Division of Trade and Consumer Protection for the state of Wisconsin. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for
happy to
coming.
be here.
Yeah. Picked a great day to come.
It couldn't be a better travel day.
Oh my God. I remember February a couple of years ago, we were in the vortex. So 70 degrees today.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, huh?
Tomorrow
it's
maybe
gonna
you'll be back.
20s. And then, it's like, wow. I told someone the other day, I said, well, if you live in Wisconsin, you're going to get 4 seasons.
That's right.
Some are longer than others.
Some will be all in 1 month.
Tell us about what is the Department of Trade and Consumer Protection?
Yeah, so the Bureau of Consumer Protection within that entire department is that we consider it the state's primary consumer protection agency. So what that really means is we have some 60, 70 consumer protection laws in our state that we're responsible for enforcing. There are many more than that, but they range. They have a full spectrum of consumer protections in our state, from getting your vehicle repaired and how that transaction should happen, to a home improvement, to your landlord-tenant relationship, your telephone service, to cable, satellite, telemarketing, the kind of calls that come through your telephone, to billing, whether or not it's authorized billing, or if you receive a bill for something you hadn't authorized. But when I say the state's primary consumer protection agency, we get the whole umbrella. We have that whole variety, but there are other agencies in our state that help with that consumer protection mission. So the Department of Transportation, the dealer section oversees the sale of a vehicle.
Do we still have lemon laws?
We have lemon laws in our state, and that would be over there. The Office of Commissioner of Insurance would be any insurance issues you have, and Department of Financial Institutions going to be like 3-day right to cancel issues, as well as your banking and lending and securities and annuities and type issues. But I see a question. No,
Yes.
no hand raising.
So do we call you guys to tell on We Energies?
Well, see, that's where we're one of the umbrellas, but the Public Service Commission would oversee your utilities. But to answer your question more specifically is if you don't know where to go, yes, you call us. Call our consumer protection hotline. We have one available that's open during our office hours, but you can leave a message. You can email us 24/7 and we'll refer you, so be open to that referral if you reach out, because we'll tell you which agency you might need to go to if it's not us. And if no one covers it, we will ask you to file a complaint and we'll try and help mediate. So there might not be a law that regulates an issue that you're having with a business, but we can help try and mediate that situation. But I will tell you, we want all complaints in writing because it is a written correspondence back and forth. We'll take the phone calls, we'll talk through situations, we'll tell you your rights, we'll mail you materials, but we won't take the complaint down for you during that phone call unless some assistance is needed for some reason. We'll provide that.
Let's more practical how this can really impact a lot of us listening. We're in the political season.
Oh, yeah.
You all are responsible for the Do Not Call register.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us don't realize that we have gone in, not did our privacy, and so now they've sold our names. And a lot of times you start getting the solicitations, right? Which gets us to make sure you look at the boxes that you're checking, because sometimes you say, hey, I want to get these solicitations, right? You didn't realize it.
I love that you brought that up. So we are in the political season, and we anticipate you're going to see an influx in phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you, the Do Not Call list is about what you said, solicitations for goods and services. So we don't cover political phone calls. They are exempt. Charitable solicitations are exempt from Do Not Call. But a lot of politicians will have their own agreements to remove people from a list or honor a list. Many will not make phone calls if they don't desire that to happen. But it's not a requirement under a Wisconsin law that happen. But you brought up the check the box situation, and many people will enter a contest or fill out a survey and provide their information. Maybe they're just online and want to get a bid for they might be looking for a home or new windows or something and want to receive different bids or estimates for that. But you need to watch for that box, because by going online or filling out that form to win that car at the game, you might be opening yourself up to all the affiliates who are with that. And it may say on the bottom that you are consenting to receive solicitations by phone or by mail or however they're going to do that. So
they're
that
very creative in terms of being able to, for example, if I go into a store and I make a purchase, they'll ask me, hey, did you want a email receipt? Or did you want to send it to the phone? Now I'm part of their database.
You're right.
And I didn't check off the box. I don't want anything, because unless I see it. Now, we do have the ability then to unsubscribe.
You should be.
If you have a map, you'll find it someplace, the smallest little thing on there. But so this came up. So you said that, what about the people who are pushing healthcare plans? Because I made a mistake when I was applying for Medicare, and I went to a site, not the Medicare site.
Okay.
Then it opened up the door for me now and then doing open enrollment, getting a lot of phone calls.
Right. And so those should be reported if you are on the Wisconsin Do Not Call list,
Okay.
because we want to know who is soliciting you without consent. And we're going to look and ask them about that consent. Show us you had consent. Now, they may be able to come back and show us a form you filled out and checked the box or didn't check the box. But then you also have the ability to contact the company and say, remove me from your list. I don't want to receive these calls. If it gets away from you, that can become quite a chore to handle. But if you you can source it, that's something else. So, but filing those complaints with consumer protection will really allow us to take a look and make sure that those businesses making the phone calls in our state or text messages are covered as well. If you're on the list, then we have the ability to enforce that. And we released our top 10 at the beginning of February, and telemarketing complaints last year, in 2022, for the first time since Do Not Call went in place, and then again last year, was in the number 2 slot, not number 1. It was number 2. And the complaints from years ago, topping nearly 4,000, had dropped to just at about 1,200 complaints. So, we need to be hearing from people if you are being bothered on the phone, because those complaints are going to be important in us making sure we're enforcing the law.
Can I give those?
Please do.
The top complaint reported to the agency was landlord-tenant issues. The second complaint category was telemarketing. The third category was home improvement. I can see that, right, with contractors and not doing what they said they're going to do, not being on time. The number 4 complaint was telecommunications. Is that back into telemarketing?
Well, telecommunications telemarketing are the phone calls you get. Telecommunications are the services you receive. So that would be who you have for your smartphone, who you might get your satellite or cable from, your landline, if you have on your internet service. It's the services that are being provided to you.
The 5th most common complaint was identity theft. So not only do they contact you, they also have to contact the financial institutions to all the things, right, that could be impacted by that theft. The 6th complaint was medical services. And that has a lot to do with what is covered under your health insurance plan?
So medical services for us, because we don't regulate the doctors and the treatment plan and in that course of care, it's about the billing, that it should be no surprises in your bill. So it could relate to your health insurance, but if it's a coverage, not covered issue, that's where we're going to work with our partner agency.
The 7th, 9th, and 10th categories all concern motor vehicles, which is vehicle repairs, sales, and accessories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do-it-yourselfers out there that are taking care of it.
And number 8 is travel.
Yeah. So a huge variation from number 1 to number 10 in complaints. Overall, we received more than 10,000 written complaints last year. The number 1 spot had 2,208 complaints, and the number 10 slot was 185. So a huge spectrum between just the top 10 issues of what was really impacting Wisconsin consumers last year.
So is there sanction? Is there relief? If I file a complaint you find in my favor, are there sanctions, or what would be the relief?
So we don't have the ability to fine a company. But we do have the ability to investigate an issue if we see a pattern of conduct, is how we refer to it. So a company that is repeatedly doing conduct that doesn't appear to be following the state laws. And then we can investigate that and refer those issues to either Department of Justice for prosecution or to a district attorney. And there they can get civil forfeitures, or maybe they'll be awarded fines by the court. And we always put a priority on restitution for consumers. So if they have suffered damages, we always try and get that money back. Through our mediation process, that's our goal. How can we work to resolve a situation so the consumer is brought back whole if possible? Sometimes that isn't possible because we can't order a company to do it. But we might be able to help someone by our findings, documenting those. And if they take it to small claims court, and a judge says, yeah, this was wrong, I rule in favor of the consumer. And they can do that on their own, but we can't just order things to happen. But we can go through our process, and businesses take that seriously. We did have a situation in our Bureau of Weights and Measures this last year with Dollar General, where we had a resolution for $882,000 in in-house settlement. So we see a lot back for consumers.
We have some phone calls.
Great. I love hearing from consumers.
Okay. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I wanted the number. Is that number, do they still have that number where a person can call and get placed on that list? I have a couple, like my mom and my uncle. They want to have stopped all the calls that they get, the soliciting calls. Is the number still where people can call in and get if they step on that do not call list or try to block some of those calls?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to give a website address and a phone number for people if they want to put their phone number on the do not call list or confirm that your number's already on it. If you call from the phone that you want listed, they're going to tell you you're already on it. So first, the website, that's nocall.wisconsin.gov. So nocall, all one word, .wisconsin.gov. Or you can dial 888-382-1222. So that's 888-382-1222. And, each phone you want registered, you'll have to dial that phone number for.
All right. So you call from
Okay,
that.
and one more thing. In the second question, when it comes to shopping at stores in the community, do we call you for like the price gouging, or do we call what do we go for that? Like, if the price is just like similarly double, just outrageous price in the value of the item.
Yeah, so you just brought up during COVID. So price gouging in our state, it exists when the governor makes a declaration. And so during COVID, that happened. And yes, you'd file your complaint with Consumer Protection, and another bureau would handle that. But right now, we don't have an activation on the price gouging law. That has to be during a period of what's referred to as abnormal economic disruption. And it can be on a single product. And that happened in 2021 on infant formula when there were issues and gasoline. And in 2020, it was broad. They just put it on all products because we were going through COVID. So hand gel to toilet paper to anything. So right now we're not having that. It's just pricing.
Right. Just so, for the lack of a better word, like when you shop in some of the community stores here in Milwaukee, you can go into a corner store and they price, even though it's not price gouging, but they set their price higher than the value of the item, or I don't know if it's higher than the value, but they set their price higher.
Because we have minimum markup here, right?
We have minimum markup on very specific products in our state. And so that says you have to charge cost plus. And so gasoline, tobacco, alcohol is going to have some of that, but it's a very limited basket of goods. Other times, if a store is just pricing higher than their competitors, that store may think it's to their advantage, or maybe their costs are more, or whatever they're trying to do.
How long is the
thank you.
Thank you. How long would be the average complaint process? If I filed a complaint today, what could I expect in terms of the timeline?
Average, I'd say about 30, 45 days, but it can be as quick as 2 weeks. I mean, it's going to depend on the responsiveness of the business. So when you file your complaint in writing, staff will respond to you in about 2 business days to say, we've received it. Here's your case number. Here's what we're doing with it. That could be under, over, of course. And then we're contacting the business in writing, and we ask them to respond within 2 weeks with their position. And maybe that's going to involve a resolution, and maybe it won't. And then from there, the process continues on. Now, just because we mediate your complaint, it could or could not still be involved in a bigger investigation now or down the road if we see an issue.
Would you all, if you notice a particular thing in a particular, you said you didn't have, would that be referred then to the Attorney General's office if you saw something that, based on your investigation, that might be criminal or even civil?
Civil is our primary investigative authority, and so where we really have our powers. and something might trip us and we might identify it as criminal, but then we need to stop because we don't have criminal investigative authority. We need to get our partners involved. So local law enforcement or a district attorney, yes, is definitely what we would do. Maybe federal authorities. We certainly work with the FBI. We work with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. We work with the U.S. Department of Justice, the Federal Trade Commission as well, because things don't just happen. Things do happen in a community, but things don't just happen in a community in this marketplace anymore. They are regional and national in nature and international in like telemarketing issues.
So people, well, let's do this and we'll come back and
Sounds good.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
The Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program end of the season is approaching. Don't miss out on benefits and help with your WE energy bill. Just go to keepwarmmke.org. It's made it easy for you to schedule an appointment. You may also call 414-270-4653. Don't delay. Call us today. Again, that's 414-270-4653. Or visit us online at keepwarmmke.org. This is administered by the State of Wisconsin Home Energy Plus program.
If you're looking for mouth-watering eats and delectable treats, look no further. Eat local and visit the Sherman Phoenix today, where you can find everything from delicious organic wings and smoked barbecue to satisfyingly seasoned vegan food to sweet, buttery, made-to-order desserts. The Sherman Phoenix is also home to a day bar, serving mixed, frozen, and tropical drinks. Experience the Sherman Phoenix effect at 3536 West Fond du Lac Avenue, open Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Visit theshermanphoenix.com to learn more.
Do you love winning? This February, head to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and fall head over heels with the Love It or Leave It $400,000 game show. Thursday nights, you could play the Love It or Leave It game show where you can love your prize or leave it for another. Play with your club card to earn drawing entries. Top prize is $10,000 in cash. It's time for Love It or Leave It. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at pacebait.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
The law offices of Washington Franklin is a second-generation law firm serving the greater Milwaukee area for more than 30 years with relentless representation in child custody placement and child support issues. Now, maybe it's time for you to talk about a divorce. You see, you can truly trust Tarina Washington Franklin to help you overcome these stressful and difficult times in your life. Washington Franklin Law Firm also does personal injury cases, automobile accidents, dog bites, and civil situations. 414-444-4260. Located at 10425 West North Avenue, Suite 302. Phone attorney Tarina Washington Franklin for a free consultation right now. 414-444-4260. 414-444-4260. 414-444-4260.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
It's all right. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, yeah, gangsta white walls, TV antenna in the back, yeah, yeah, yeah. You may not have a car at all. But remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got now. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac. Oh, yeah.
Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Voice. And as we finish up, we have Miss Michelle Reinen. She's the administrator of the Division of Trade and Consumer Protection for the state of Wisconsin. I'd asked her a question off air. Was there any kind of relationship she had with, or your agency has with the Better Business Bureau?
Yeah, we really do. We have a good partnership with the Better Business Bureau. So we're two different entities. We're the state, and under law, we have authorities to investigate and in responsibilities to enforce our state laws. And the Better Business Bureau is there and started as, I believe, a nonprofit or maybe for-profit organization. To have business standards and best practices for business and have a seal and know you're doing business with a company that's meeting those standards. And I'll call it a code of conduct type situation. And then they took complaints against those businesses that were members, and that's expanded over time to complaints from consumers. And so we partner. We meet on a quarterly basis to talk about what we're seeing complaint wise. They're a national organization. And so they are a fabulous partner. They do investigations of their member businesses when needed and even not, but we exchange that information. We're the ones who can bring actions to district attorneys and Department of Justice. So, and in-house if we need to, but we really need that partnership and value it tremendously. So file your complaint regardless of where.
Okay, that's what I was going to get to. So would it be better to go to the Better Business Bureau or come directly to you?
Yeah, when we are, if we're going to spot something, we usually do it through our own complaints. So then I'd say us. But when we're investigating something, we tap into all of our resources to see the breadth of the situation. So regardless of where, most importantly, is somewhere, make sure you file that complaint. Because we even work with the media complaint centers, the call for actions, the contact organizations that are out there as well to see what they have going on.
Let's see if we can get our last caller here. Caller. Okay. Caller, welcome to the program.
Yes.
Good morning.
I have a question for the guest.
Yes.
Do you investigate casino gaming for complaint? With complaint?
We are not able to investigate casinos or gaming. Gaming in our state is overseen by the Department of Administration. And then, so if you filed a complaint with us, we'd help get it where it needs to go. We would certainly refer it to the appropriate entity that would have oversight.
So how does that interact when you look at the casinos? Many of the casinos in Wisconsin are on sovereign
tribal lands.
Mm-hmm. So do you still have a certain level of investigative power when it comes to those things that are on tribal land?
So because it's not our authority, I can't speak to what extent and how those agreements work and how those laws look. And so I'm sorry to say I have to refer you
obviously
out.
you don't,
yeah.
because it and that becomes complicated because
It does.
of sovereignty. One of the things that just kind of the geek in me just kind of kicked out weighting standards.
Weights and measures.
Weights and measures.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. What is weight and measures?
You know, it's going to be National Weights and Measures Week starting on Friday. So That's a wonderful question. I love it. So we have a Bureau of Weights and Measures, and think about you go to the deli and you're buying your potato salad. I don't know, whatever is your favorite deli item. And you want to make sure you're getting a pound of potato salad, but you don't want to have to pay for the container. because the container is considered tare weight. You should get a pound of potato salad, not however heavy the container is. So our weights and measures inspectors, along with city sealers. So in Milwaukee, they have a city sealer program, a municipal program that we partner with. And they're out there checking scales. They're making sure gas pumps deliver a gallon of gasoline when you're buying a gallon of gasoline. They are checking the package declarations on food products. So again, think of your burger when you're buying it, that it's 1.25 pounds. Or if you're buying coffee beans, that if it's labeled a pound of coffee beans, that it's a pound of coffee beans in that package. And even product that can lose lose weight because it evaporates or something. There are national standards about how that has to be labeled and weighed. And so we're out there checking all those devices, and that includes the scanners. So making sure that the advertised price on the shelf, the $1.25, is how it rings on the scanner, $1.25, whether that's a self-checkout or someone who's attending the checkout.
I never thought about that. I kind of thought about it, that they have to take into account whatever it is that's on the scale. Like you might use butcher paper if you're getting meat from a butcher. I was real fascinated with that in terms of what that looks like now. People going out, and I never thought that even though you pay for a gallon of gas, you might not get a full gallon. It just never, because it happens.
It is.
It has everything to do with your influence.
Yeah, there's technology out there that, things get out of true, if you will. I mean, even a bicycle tire gets out of true. Everything can, but we're out there inspecting. We will respond to complaints, but the inspectors are out there every single day. In the state program, we're looking at the quality of gasoline as well as the quantity. So we do tank inspections to make sure that they're all working environmentally properly. There's no leaks, but also that no water's getting into the tank throughout the state. And then there is the entire weights and measures. So it can be so many different things. Bird seed that you buy. I guess I do want to make sure one complaint we get pretty often is I had my lawnmower gas can and I was able to put 2.5 gallons in it, and it's a 2-gallon can. Well, that's not a scientifically measured 2-gallon device. And we have those, our inspectors do. So just know there's room, there needs to be breathing room for the gas to travel type situation. So that, don't let that throw you off that you were able to put more in your device and now you think that the meter's off.
Who's responsible for labeling?
Labeling of
products, where it's what's in the content of is that a federal standard where you have to list those ingredients? I know you go to restaurants now and they tell you the caloric intake.
It's a mix of items. So that could be the Food and Drug Administration at the federal level. Okay. It could be the Federal Trade Commission. It could be the state, depending upon what the item or product is in what needs to be included in that.
We have another question. Caller, welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning. I have a question for you, panel guest. What about the landlording business, where it seems as though it's the revenge of the landlords right now because of COVID? A lot of landlords were done overwhelmingly wrong, and now the prices of rent in certain areas, which is deemed a low income pretty much per se area, why isn't there anybody looking into a cap for these runaway landlords that are charging $1,200, $1,400 for a piece of property? Frankly, it's not worth it. But I guess, we're calling it the revenge of the landlords. Have you guys been looked into that, or is that out of your hands, or what?
Yeah, so I'll just be real upfront. Landlord-tenant relationships regarding the amount of rent is not within our authority, but I do know a lot of different municipalities are trying to look at what they can do for their areas where there are rental housing shortages or the cost of rent is becoming extreme. I do know that at the state level, through the Department of Administration, they're trying to look at different assistance and development opportunities as well to try and offset, but that's not an immediate reaction to the situation. Some of that takes a little bit. Where we step in is that if a tenant is in a written rental agreement for a period of time, the rent can't be raised during that period of time per your agreement. And if a landlord tries to change the rent during that agreement, that's where we come in. But once that agreement ends and then rents go up and you sign that new agreement, the amount the rent goes up, that's not within our control.
So right now, there's nobody looking into putting a cap on. And believe me, I'm not throwing a damper on landlords, okay? Because I understand the hustle and I understand that it's a livelihood for most of us. But at the same time, some of this is actually gouging, especially when you got a kid that's first time renter, and in his or her mind, $1,000 is they can do it because they're looking at their pay. But anything can happen, and $1,000 can be like $1 million to try and retrieve or try and get if you don't have it. That's what I thought maybe you guys were looking into something where a cap could be put on some of this stuff in some areas. But I see that's that's above your pay rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
you brought up a really good point, though, as to how much $1,000 can mean to someone versus someone else. And we don't have baseline minimums for filing complaints because it's the impact to the individual. And we don't want to set those baselines because that can be such a broad spectrum.
So we're talking about making sure that the rental agreement or the lease is followed. So if there's a new owner, do they have to follow the old agreement from the previous owner? If there's, you got a 12-month rental agreement and the house is sold at 9 months, does the new landlord have to follow that old lease?
They are supposed to.
Okay.
They are supposed to, when they make that purchase, they inherit that additional 3 months with that tenant. Now, what they might want to do when that ends, they may want to give notice and make it their own property and live there. They may want to gut it and make it into something else. But yeah, they are supposed to. And if people run into situations where that's not being honored, that's another opportunity to contact Consumer Protection.
Okay.
If people want to learn more or they want to file a complaint or get information to see if they would, their complaint, well, not if they wanted to file a complaint, let's do it that way.
So a couple different ways you can file a complaint. You can call that hotline I've been talking about, and that number is 1-800-422-7128. And again, that's 1-800-422-7128. Or you can go to our website. On our website, we have tons of informational pamphlets to learn about all the topics we've talked about and many more. Or you can file a complaint directly online or download a form and mail it in. And that is datcp.wi.gov. And so it's the department initials. Again, datcp.wi.gov.
I want to really thank you for coming, Miss Michelle Reiner. She is with the Wisconsin Department of Trade and Consumer Protection.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, you absolutely did. Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed being here.
Wow. And you should come back. I know you would love to hear directly from people.
Yeah.
As it relates to maybe things they're experiencing or complaints they could have.
Yeah,
and how
happy
your
to do
agency
that.
can help.
Yeah, I love talking to consumers and seeing how we can help, because when we talk about the issues, we're helping everybody else too. It's not just helping yourself. We can help everyone.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Whenever it rains, feel this way. Little something to get me through this day. Give me a little bit. No, I'm bad. Yeah, won't it be a good day? Yeah, yeah. Some people in need feel free. Letting go and let on my feet. Yeah, brushed up bad. No, I'm bad. Yeah, won't it be a good day? Yeah, yeah. Oh, believe I said you. You believe I said you. Never will be with forever you. I'm crying for the pain. I'm here for I got nothing. Got no you. Gotta get out of here. I'm in the dark and the light looks sincere. Yeah, crushed up the bed. No talk, man. Yeah, oh, oh. Do some pain about your pain. Yeah, and the cloud of fire, she won't cease to rain. Yeah, don't bang. And a bang. Yeah, yeah, good thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got to be so control of me. Oh, yeah, just gon' do, yeah. Something inside of me. So control of me. So change. Just won't do. Never will be one forever you. But that's the person of the day. I'm being I got nothing to do with you. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing to do with you.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
Going to the course again.
You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
2024 Easter Band, March 31st, sponsored by the New Pits Mortuary, located at 2031 West on Capitol Drive. Pick your tickets at 45 in advance, 50 at the door. On my way home, the Captain Spiritual. Oh, the gospel for. He's blessing me. I feel it in my feet right now. Baby, you better meet me there. Brunch at 1. The show begins at 4 p.m. The fabulous Lucky Brothers. My soul is a witness. I feel it down on the inside. Be right there at Abundant Faith, located at 7830 West Good Hope Road. All Willie Rogers. We're going to a meeting on that day. I see them marching down the street. Come on in from everywhere, northwest, south. It's going down. There's a leak in this old building, Bishop Neil Robertson, and my soul has got to move. Don't you miss it. Call the New Pits Mortuary 414-447-6000. It's going down at the Soul Stirring Gospel Easter Bash. Oh, I gotta stop right there, Brian McIntyre. My feet got light. I feel myself flying right about now. Come on now, you don't want to miss it. Be right there in the house. It's going down. Come on now, Tiffany Terry. Everybody know he's my friend. Oh, you don't want to miss it. You be right there. That Soul Stirring Gospel Easter Bash. That food is going to be yummy, yummy, yummy. I tell you, come on now, Reverend R.L. Bush and the Revived Sons. Put the weight on me. Oh, not that kind of weight, because that food gonna be so scrumptious. Pick your tickets up at the New Pits Mortuary.
Lutheran Neighborhood Schools would like to invite you to an interest meeting. This will be an opportunity to learn about the school, get your questions answered, and discuss important issues regarding bringing the school to the SOS Center. Join them Thursday, February 29th at 6 p.m. at the SOS Center, 4620 West North Avenue. Can't wait to learn about the school? Call 414-292-0740 or visit mylns.org.
Hi, my name is Tamika Vukovic, Co-Executive Director of Wisconsin Voices. Please join Wisconsin Voices every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We will be focusing on community partnerships, voter education, and long-term collective impact for all Wisconsinites.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
Welcome back to Community Voice. I'm getting used to this. I'm getting used to our guy.
Who?
The guy who, does my late ends.
Was on the Friday Night Jukebox?
Is that who he is? Because, I'm
Buchanan?
getting used to it. No, is that?
Yeah.
Is that Buchanan?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that. Okay. Well, I'm getting used to the voice.
Mm-hmm.
For all those years, we had another ubiquitous voice, and so be able to. And at first, when we first heard, it's like, but I think it was more you used to hearing what you're hearing. A few minutes left in the program. How many of y'all getting ready to get out in the weather? I don't know. I don't ever remember, and I guess when we see the weather today, ever remember it being 70 degrees in February? Has it?
Mm-hmm.
When?
One day in my life, I remember.
Not February.
Yeah, I remember it snowing in June, right before my birthday. It snowed, snowstorm. It was snow on the ground for 3 days, and it got burning up.
June? Not in June.
In early June. That was matter of fact, I cleaned up in 2012. That was 2011. I wasn't just snow high. I was snow out there. That was 2011.
You sure you went high?
Yeah. I was like, whoa, because the next June I was in Mississippi.
Are you sure you wasn't a little high?
It was early June, and it got a little tight. It was warm, and we had one of those flash freezes, and it was a snowstorm, and it was snow on the ground for like 2 days, maybe 3, and then it just got hot again.
Yeah, I hate to be Donnie Donner, but we're gonna get another snowstorm. I just can't believe. I was watching a documentary on the dynasty of the New England Patriots, and they were talking about the famous snow game when they played Oakland, that game turned into the famous tuck rule. If I remember, where Tom Brady clearly fumbled. As a matter of fact, he thought he had fumbled. Right? Everybody thought he had fumbled. The game was over. Well, no,
Fumbalina.
Yeah, there you go. Fumbalina. Yeah, but they talked about that they only had one snowfall that year in Boston, and it was that game.
In Boston?
In Boston. Your cousin from Boston. I love that commercial. Oh, that's a good one. That's Sam Adams, your cousin from Boston. Anybody who I have one of my favorite courses in college is White Ethnics in America. And boy, let me tell you, the Irish have quite a history. They have quite a history, especially when it comes to America. And so I don't know if people realize that I've never been to Boston, know a lot about their civil rights history there in Boston. And wow, there are some Irish folks there who are really living some tough lives.
So where's Notre Dame at?
Notre Dame is in South Bend, Indiana.
Indiana. So why is the Fighting Irish in Indiana and not in Boston?
Right. And I thought that was very interesting. That was Fighting Irish. I do not know.
I do know why they're the Fighting Irish.
I think those are the Holy Cross brothers. So I don't know if they had a large Irish contention there, or it was the people who started, because Newt Rockney wasn't Irish, he was Norwegian. So I'm oh, by the way, did I say this? I hate Notre Dame. Oh yeah, I hate Notre Dame.
Did you say that?
Huh?
Did you say that?
That I hate Notre Dame. Donald Trump says he's too rich to put up the $90 million bond for his appeal. He's too rich for that. Oh, this dude. Oh my God, man. I don't, this dude. Oh man, this dude. I say this dude.
Mm-hmm.
This dude. Well, enjoy the weather today.
A lot of us love him because he just.
I don't love him.
He not only, listen, I got popcorn, baby. You know, it's like people love Jason and Michael Myers. Listen. He's an equal opportunity. I'm a punk.
I can explain that to you. You know, I'm a Friday the 13th aficionado, right?
Oh, explain
you
what?
know that.
I didn't care.
No, but you need to know where it comes from.
No, I don't. I just need to know when I hear it to move.
No. So I'm right. That too. Actually, what they did was, who was the original killer in the first Friday the 13th? Who was the killer?
Was it the mother?
This is Voorhees. A lot of people say Jason. Jason did appear until the second Friday the 13th. But what it is, and you hear it in, I think they do it at the beginning of the second movie, you hear, kill mommy, kill mommy. And that's where you get kill mommy. That was Jason saying to his mother, kill mommy.
Listen, I was too young for them to have me watching that. I was at that house, so I was under the age of 5. So I shouldn't have never watched it on HBO, and I don't care. Why the hell would you let me watch that movie?
In 1984, I worked at Camp Wickham. We had 10-day sessions and we had 5-day sessions. The week of my birthday, which was on July 12th, which was on a Thursday, Friday the 13th, obviously, was the next day. We sent the kids home on Thursday. That's the only time they ever shortened the period. You know why? Friday the 13th. There wouldn't have been a dry mattress any place, and that's including the adults. Because I even know on the 13th I was moving around, especially at night.
I didn't that stuff, and then I just Jamie Lee Curtis was my baby since I was that young. But
Halloween.
But was Halloween first or was Friday the 13th?
Halloween.
So that's what I was watching at 5.
Yeah,
Halloween. I should have never watched that movie. But
Jamie
thank you for Freddy Krueger.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
The first comedian of the pack.
Oh, when he put that woman in the television and say, "Welcome to prime time." Oh my God! I was like, it is, and I hate. I'm squeamish, but I love slasher movies.
The first comedian.
What a contradiction!
And then the second one, they just start fighting back and they start talking back to Freddy and whooping him. Yeah, this is my dream. But then comes Chucky, and oh God, the rest is history. I almost bought a Chucky shirt yesterday.
Oh, I love Chucky. I love Chucky. Oh my God. Anyway, we got to do a whole Friday on those.
No,
man.
let's not.
Do a whole Friday. Hopefully on the 13th.
Let us not.
Let me thank Miss. Dude, I'm getting old. Let me thank Miss Brenda Buchanan. Let me thank Miss Julia Means. Let me thank Miss Michelle Reiner. All of you, Keon, thank you.
Yeah.
Harvey, thank you. Good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.
That we may see